I do wish we could get to Julian and George and find out what has happened. The two men came into the courtyard. They were angry. "Where have those kids got to?" said Jake. "Their boat is still in the cove, so they haven't got away. They must be hiding somewhere." "We can't wait all day for them." "Well, let's take some food and drink down to the two we've locked up," said the other man. "There's plenty in that little stone room. I suppose it's a store the children brought over. We'll leave half in the room so that the other two kids can have it. And we'll take their boat with us so that they can't escape." "Right," said Jake. "The thing to do is to get the gold away as quickly as possible, and make sure the children are prisoners here until we've made a safe getaway." "We won't bother any more about trying to buy the island. After all, it was only the idea of getting the ingots that put us up to the idea of getting Kieran Castle and the island." "Well, come on," said his companion. "We will take the food down now, and not bother about the other kids. You stay here and see if you can spot them while I go down." Dick and Ann hardly dared to breathe when they heard all this. How they hoped that the men wouldn't think of looking down the well. They heard one man walk to the little stone room. It was plain that he was getting food and drink to take down to the two prisoners in the dungeons below. The other man stayed in the courtyard, whistling softly. After what seemed a very long time to the hidden children, the first man came back. Then the two talked together, and at last went off to the cove. Dick heard the motorboat being started up. "It's safe to get out now, Ann," he said. "Isn't it cold down here? I'll be glad to get out into the sunshine." They climbed out and stood warming themselves in the hot summer sunshine. They could see the motorboat streaking towards the mainland. "Well, they're gone for the moment," said Dick. "And they've not taken our boat, as they said. If only we could rescue Julian and George, we could get help, because George could row us back." "Why can't we rescue them?" cried Ann, her eyes shining. "We can go down the steps and unbolt the door, can't we?" "No, we can't," said Dick. "Look." Ann looked to where he pointed. She saw that the two men had piled big, heavy slabs of broken stone over the dungeon entrance. It had taken all their strength to put the big stones there. Neither Dick nor Ann could hope to move them. "It's quite impossible to get down the steps," said Dick. "They've made sure we shan't do that. And you know we haven't any idea where the second entrance is. We only know it was somewhere near the tower." "Let's see if we can find it," said Ann eagerly. They set off to the tower on the right of the castle, but it was quite clear that whatever entrance there might have been once, it was gone now. The castle had fallen in very much just there, and there were piles of old broken stones everywhere, quite impossible to move. The children soon gave up the search. "Blow," said Dick. "How I do hate to think of poor old Julian and George prisoners down below, and we can't even help them." "Oh, Ann, can't you think of something to do?" Ann sat down on a stone and thought hard. She was very worried. Then she brightened up a little and turned to Dick. "Dick, I suppose we couldn't possibly climb down the well, could we?" she asked. "You know it goes past the dungeons, and there's an opening on the dungeon floor from the well shaft, because don't you remember we were able to put in our heads and shoulders and look right up the well to the top?" "Could we get past that slab, do you think, the one that I sat on just now, that has fallen across the well?" Dick thought it all over. He went to the well and peered down it.